Hola.
Stay ready.
Hola, and welcome back to Coffee and Chaos. I'm Alina, your host, and today we have Trina.
Aloha.
In case you don't know, that means hello in Samoan.
That's what's up. I like it. Are you Samoan?
Yeah, I'm Samoan.
Oh, that's what's up. All right, I like that.
And then Solomon.
Works for me.
Hello, I'm here.
Hello.
I'm here.
And then we have the famous.
So you can kick butt and chew bubble gum. You got
Can
some.
you?
You got some gangsters in your family.
Oh, she does.
Hell
She
yeah.
does.
No, I know she does.
She does. Her brother ain't never gonna let nobody hurt her.
I already know. Trust. Them Samoans don't play.
Yeah.
I'm friends with the Booyah tribe.
Are you?
Yeah, Gotti and all them. Those are my boys.
And
let me-
now we have the famous.
Yeah, let me introduce
Go
the
ahead.
famous Noel G, aka Hector.
All love.
How are you?
right.
What's up? What's up? How you guys doing? Chill.
Good. So now that we know you like Samoans,
Yeah, I ain't gonna mess up and say nothing wrong on this podcast. So I'm gonna keep my head straight on this deal.
Well, I'm sure. Does that wait? Weren't you on something with The Rock?
Fast Seven, yeah.
Fast 7, yeah.
Yeah, Fast 7, yeah.
Did you like that one?
I'm not a Fast and Furious fan, to keep it 100,
Yeah,
because for me, it got too superhero.
Oh.
It just got too lame for me. You know, I don't know how you go from like street racing to saving the world. So I'm not a Fast and Furious fan really anymore, to be honest.
They lost me at Cars in Space.
Yeah, I think.
Did you stop once Paul, rest in peace, passed away?
No, I stopped from like earlier than that. I stopped at
Oh.
like part 3. You know what I mean? That's when I kind of threw in the towel on it.
Yeah.
Because it just went too left field. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, it just went from street racing to saving the world. And I'm like, now they're FBI agents and they're doing these jumps with parachutes in cars. And it was just so unreal for me. You know what I mean? So I'm a fan of the check, but I ain't a fan of the movie. You know what I'm
So
saying?
if they asked, you would come back on.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Of course. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Of course I'm gonna come back. But I always do some movies where I say sometimes the movie sucked, but the check didn't suck.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you straight up if I was in a movie that was good or a movie that I was in that was bad. You know what I'm saying? I don't care.
So how do you pick which role you want to be in? Because we all know you as
Yeah, just
Solo,
as long as it's nothing that compromises my character in real life. Like, for example, and to each their own, no judgment. To each their own, no judgment once again. But like me, I won't do a gay role. I won't dress up as a girl. I won't do none of that stuff. You know what I mean?
You won't put a dress on.
I'm like Dave Chappelle on the YouTube when he say, "You ain't putting a dress on a black man. You ain't putting a dress on this Mexican. Hell nah."
And,
And again, no judgment. It's just not for me. I just wouldn't do it. That's all I'm saying.
You know?
you know what the run role I've never seen you in, and maybe you have been in it and I just missed it. You play a gangster, you've played a music producer, and with Jim Carrey, but I've never seen you like in a romantic role. Did I miss that, or have you never had one?
I never really had one, to keep it 100 with you. It's kind of funny though, because I do have a movie that I'm writing that's kind of like a Pretty Woman story, where the Cholo meets, the first class Beverly Hill girl women or whatever. So hopefully if that ever happens, then you're going to see it. But it's funny you said that. The only reason why I say that is because that's actually something I'm trying to make happen.
Ah.
So yeah. So it's in the works, but if it happens or not, we'll find out together if I get there or not.
Now, Training Day.
Yeah.
I've only watched it once. I can't ever watch it again because Denzel was obviously the bad guy.
Right. That's the only movie ever. No, I take that back. It's the first movie ever where he played a bad guy.
And he's such a good actor. Like I can't watch it again because I don't want to see him as a bad guy ever. And you were in that and you guys were all doing your thing. And I'm like, I'm never going to watch that movie again.
That's
but
funny.
how was
That's
it
funny.
working with Denzel?
No, it was cool. I learned a lot watching him because, it was crazy to see such a pro at what he does. And so just to see pick up on some little gold nuggets on how he prepares for his character was and I always say there's no better learning experience than being on the battlefield itself. So, I was right there in the middle of watching pros work. And so to pick up little gold nuggets, like I said, here and there, it was cool. It was hella cool to see.
Do you want to tell us how you got into it? Into acting?
The short story is literally right place, right time. I was dating this girl. She wanted to be an actress and model and the whole Hollywood deal. I never thought a day about it. And one day she asked me to go to this acting class with her. I go to this acting class with her. Right place, right time. Never thought about acting a day in my life. There was a producer in class who was scouting talent, comes up to me and says, "Hey, you want to be in a Taco Bell commercial?" And I thought he was on some BS. Whatever. I ended up giving him my number. He ended up being real. 2 weeks later, I'm on a Taco Bell commercial. It was the first thing I ever did in my life. And I don't know if you guys know about residual payments. You know what so a lot of people are ignorant to that. Residual checks, for some of the people who don't know what it is every time they show the commercial, you get a check. I was 15 years old when I did this commercial. I was ignorant to that.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know about residual payments. I thought it was like you got to work to get paid, work to get paid, work to get paid. I didn't know. So all these checks started coming in, and I thought it was a computer mess up.
Were you
I was,
cashing them?
Hell yeah, I was cashing. I had my story for court. I was going to be like, they kept on paying me. I don't know why I'm getting paid. Like, I had my story ready to go, right? But after they were paying me for about a year, it got a little weird. I called up the guy who hooked me up with the commercial, and I said, why I keep on getting paid for this commercial? And he goes, oh, that's how actors get paid. I said, what? I said, well, I want to be an actor. You know what I mean? Because I ain't never made so much money so quickly and legitimately like that ever. It was like hitting the baby lottery. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, so to end the story, long story short, you know when you say long story short, it's a longer story. But to end the story, he hooked me up with a manager friend of his. I go in meeting this guy like this. I don't know nothing from nothing. I just walk in. He's like, man, I like you. I'm going to send you out on some auditions. I said, all right, cool. But everything he sent me out on was Cholo 1, Gangster 2, Trigger. I'm like, man, I thought I was here to act.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm getting paid to play myself.
Yeah.
And then that's how the acting got started. And I've been to college once. I had to drop somebody off. But other than that, man, I'm just saying.
You wore a Raider sweatshirt?
All day.
You're a Raiders fan?
All day. I tell people
that's his romantic role.
I tell people we're an emotional support team. That's what I tell people.
You're like a typical Raider fan. Like all gangsters.
Well, you know what's funny how the
gangsters.
You know what's funny how the Raiders got started? So back in the early day, these were the gangster colors, black and gray. Yeah. So I just wore it for the colors. I didn't know nothing about the team.
Oh.
But because I wore it my whole life, and I just always wore Raiders, I said that might as well just be my team, and it became my team, and that's how that happened. So it wasn't about, because we were from the South and, the North is red.
Yeah.
So, we ain't going to sport red. We're going to wear, blue or, dark colors or whatever. So I always wore black and gray, and I always bought the Raider gear just because it was the closest to gangster stuff. And so then, as I got older and, got into it, then I was like, oh, you know what? Raiders is my team because I've been wearing them my whole life. I'm just going to stick with that.
And
so that's how the Raiders think.
Yeah,
and I know we're the best team in the NFL.
Okay. Since you're my guest, I'm going to let you believe
I'm
that.
I'm playing.
I'm going to let you.
What we like to do is give other teams hope. That's what we about.
Well, don't ask what I am.
We like
a Rams fan.
Oh, no, that's to me, if you want the honest truth, though, sports got kind of ruined because of money. I think money kind of jacked up sports a little bit, but that's just my 2 cents.
I'm a Cowboys for life.
I could accept. My pastor's a Cowboy. So
I love the Cowboys.
So that works.
I don't even know if we have a coach right now. We didn't a while ago. I don't even know if we've got one back yet or not. They fired our coach, and so
they just fired our coach too. So
there
So
we go.
There we go. Your team's the only one hanging on.
I think one of you will. One of your teams will get what's his name?
Dion.
You think?
Oh, gotcha.
Cowboys. So
you never know.
He's not going to want to go back to the Cowboys.
So next thing.
What I wanted to say, let me just say this for 2 seconds, and I'll keep it super quick. Just to get back to the acting thing, to pivot for just 2 seconds, though, I wanted to say this, though. So when that happened and I got into acting, I can honestly say at first it was all about the money because I never made so much money so quickly. But as I started doing it as a job, it became a true passion. And the reason why is because our job is, it's never the same thing. We get to do, podcasts like this. I always work in a different place. I always work with new people. It's always something different. So I just wanted to make that clear real quick. So I can honestly say, when I first got into it, it was all about money because I never made so much so quickly. But as I started doing it, it became a true passion of mine. And, I the way I say it is, I'm in the best business ever. So that's how I say it.
What is your most favorite role? Not what made you the most money. Like, which role did you just have the most fun doing? What's your favorite role?
Yeah, 100%. I get it. It was probably Fast and the Furious and Bruce Almighty. Fast and the Furious because it was such a fun movie. And we were like partying on set. I caught a child support case on Fast and Furious. So, we just to keep it 100. So
okay, when I said fun, I didn't mean that.
It was fun that night, but I regretted it later,
Oh wow.
But
one night and she was pregnant.
Yeah, like that. But I mean, just to keep real. Yeah, sometimes you could have a fun night, but regret that fun night 3 weeks later, you know? But but no, Fast and Furious, because it was like we're hanging out. There was like a moment I'm like, are we filming a movie here?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? Like, I felt like we just all hanging out, chilling, wilding out, right? But so that one was fun because of that. And then probably Bruce Almighty because I got to show a little comedy side.
Yeah, but
and do a
there's
little
a
something
part
different.
in that in Bruce Almighty that
Yeah, don't get personal now.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
I know, I'm just playing.
Have you ever watched Bruce Almighty? A monkey comes out of his butt.
Well, not literally out of my. No, hey, well, so trip out. The way they did
I
that.
just had a visual, and I'm like,
I know, right? Hello. That's where they pause it. That's where they pause it. Go get some popcorn right quick. Trust. No, I already
you
know.
Get up right now.
I know.
Monkey.
This is where she's like, yo, brother, I need you. No, trust me, I know. No, it was crazy. Like the way they did that scene, just for the people so you guys know it's insane, is they got a cage with no door on it. They made an oversized pair of pants with Velcro, and the monkey just came out on the sound cue. And all I had to do was make the face, and voila, there it is. Yeah, so just so we're clear, it didn't literally come out my butt.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
I literally got some people who think that. I kid you not. I'm like, are you from Earth? Like, what's up?
Yeah, but that's why when you said that was your favorite, I was like, oh.
Well,
okay,
just
like-
because I got to show comedy, you know,
Yeah.
on that's the only reason why. So yeah.
Jim Carrey seems very quirky but fun.
No, he was fun to work with. He was hecka cool.
Down to
Like,
earth.
down to earth, cool cat. Jim Carrey was one of the funnest dudes. I could give you a quick story. Just keep it super quick. When we beat up Jim Carrey in the scene, because that's when he gets revenge, when he gets the God powers, and then he does the monkey thing back to me, right? When he gets his revenge, when he gets his powers. But it was funny though. So the scene where we beat him up, but we didn't want to like beat him up because it's Jim Carrey. So we're like, let's be delicate. Let's, go in soft and easy, right? Because it's Jim Carrey. So we did the first scene. And it was kind of wimpy, when we did the first scene, because again, we didn't want to hurt Jim Carrey, right? So he gets up and he's like, come on, guys. He's like, do it like you're from the hood. Like, do it for reals. Like, he's like, I can handle it. Like, do it for reals. And we're all like, all right. So the second time we got him. And then after we got him the second time, he goes, all right, go back to the first way.
He's like, that's enough.
Yeah,
that's good.
Jim Carrey's a cool cat, man.
That is
A humble dude. I love Jim Carrey, man.
Funny. What jobs before
And to work with a legend, like, come on,
Well, that's what I'm saying. He seems so
Yeah.
as quirky as he is. He just seems.
No,
so
he's like that in real life. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's off the hook. He's friendly dude, humble dude. Like, yeah, nothing bad to say about it. I love Jim. Jim, we love you, man. Just so you know. All right. If you're watching, we love you.
Yeah, make sure he watches. Make sure he
Yeah,
watches.
we love you, Jim. Come on, man.
What
I'm like
jobs
this. Yo,
did you-
Jim. No. I did the heart thing, bro, just so you know, dog.
He's like, come back. Let's do
Like,
another movie.
Go ahead. Right. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, come on.
What jobs did you do before you were an actor?
So I worked everywhere. I worked at the longest job I ever had was I was a cash register person at Kmart for 1 year. So I worked at Walmart, I worked at Denny's, I worked at Olive Garden, Toys R Us, KB Toy Store, Burger King, place called Pizza Man. I used to deliver pizzas. I had all kinds of odd 9-to-5 jobs. It was when I did Fast and the Furious that I no longer worked a 9-to-5 to this day.
Then you just put all your heart into.
Well, yeah, my heart was into it before. It was just finally that I was able to make a living off of what my heart was
got
into.
it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Got it. You're half. Pronounce your last name.
I can't even say it straight
Okay,
up.
that's
I'm
why
like, whatever you say, then we're gonna go with
Okay,
that.
that's why I was like, when I was doing it, so I was like, Noel G, like everybody else.
Yeah, I just say Noel G and I keep it
No,
simple.
it's Gilly. I don't know.
We're gonna go with that. We're gonna
Yeah.
go with that. Whatever you say, that's what it is.
You can Google it right now, and because it's obviously Italian, right?
Yeah.
So you're half Italian,
Yeah, I just say I'm Mexican Italian. Leave it at that.
and leave it at that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So is there a reason why? And I kind of Googled this. Everybody calls you Hector on a lot of shows. Do you request it now?
Now I do.
Okay.
Now I do, but I didn't at the starting. So the way that I say it, the quick story is it started off as a coincidence thing, and then I just made it a thing. Because literally, I call it Hollywood, just so we're clear.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens, I say in Hollywood, they only know 2 names for Mexican actors, Hector and Carlos. Because I kid you not, as God is my witness, I can't even make this up. Every script I ever got, 75%, 80% of the time, was either Hector or Carlos.
Really?
Every damn script, from different people who don't even know each other,
Yeah.
just were writing the same damn typical Mexican names. And so it got so bad that my agent would call me up and be like, "You're not going to believe this." I go, "Let me guess. Another script for Hector." She's like, "Yep." And I'm like, "All right, whatever." And so, again, so the way I say it to keep it simple is it started off as a coincidence thing and I just made it a thing. But because it happened so much, and I was like, you know what? Let's just ride this out. So now, yes, I do request it. Whenever I'm in a project, I say, "Hey, can I just be called Hector? Because I want to keep this going." And I'm the first actor to do something like this.
Nice.
So that's why I'm like, let that be my little, my little broken record or whatever you want to call it, of the guy who's played the same character in all the movies. So I'm like,
Do you like playing that character?
yeah. Now I do. At first it was like whatever, but now I do because I'm trying to keep this. I think it would be awesome to be like the only actor ever who's been able to be Hector in like 80% of his movies. That's one heck of a record to break, right? No actor's ever done that.
Do you want to be Hector as like a clean cut American Mexican?
I don't care. I don't care what it is. I could be Hector of anything. If I play a lawyer, I want to be Hector. If I play a police, I want to be Hector. If I play an airplane pilot, I want to be Hector. If I play a doctor, I want to be Hector. If I play a gangster, I want to be. You get what I'm saying? Like,
and has anybody told you no?
I've had a couple people tell me no. Like when I did the Mayans, for example.
Oh yeah.
They didn't want to ride with that. So but
Girl, Hector's not writing the.
Yeah. But all you can do is ask. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know until you ask. And so I the ones who do, cool, and the ones who don't, I understand it. No big deal. We're still doing the project.
Yeah. I saw you in Employee of the Month with Matt Dillon.
Oh, yeah.
They killed you pretty fast.
You're pulling out some like golden gems right there. You go deep. She brought out Philly Brown.
I like Matt Dillon.
Well, she does her research, huh? She went into detective mode.
Yeah, this is the detective.
She got a shovel and dug. Trust. I know. I feel you.
Give me someone's first name and I'll find everything on social media about them.
All right. I ain't mad at you. Go ahead. Fire her away.
So in that one, you played a gangster.
That's fun.
But they killed you in the
Well, if
bathtub.
you're Mexican or black, you die first in a movie. You already got to know that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to be white to live to the end.
And yes, we can say that because it's true.
That's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah. I'm just keeping it 100, man. Tell me I'm lying, who's ever watching this.
You're telling the truth. Is Matt Dillon pretty cool?
Yeah. Matt was, when you work with a lot of these people, they're just normal people like anybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And, it's like in any business. Sometimes you get a butthead and sometimes you get a cool one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But Matt Dillon was a cool one.
Was he? How was Gina Rodriguez?
She was cool. Yeah.
That was a good movie.
If I see Gina, it's still love to this day.
Yeah.
She's hella cool. Yeah.
Is she? So was that her really rapping? And the movie we're talking about is Philly Brown.
That's the movie that, blew her up, put her on the map, and now she's doing like big things. And, congratulations to her because she has such an awesome heart and she deserves what she has coming and, going on for her. I actually worked with her in a movie where it was kind of funny. I did a movie with her called Our Family Wedding. Okay. And if you watch that movie, she's an extra in that movie.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to go back and watch it.
Yeah, go check it out. But she did like extra. She's dancing on a table, wiling out. She made herself very noticeable, very known. And then she gets Philly Brown, and now she's doing what she's doing today. And so
that was her rapping in that.
I believe so. Yeah. Okay. I wasn't there for some of those scenes, so I don't know. But I
think they said she was.
I think 100%. Yes, it was her. Yeah.
So earlier I asked you about a romantic thing, and I forgot about this. You did well. It wasn't a romantic scene because I think you're kind of like abusive in this role. In the Nicky Jam video.
Oh yeah.
You had the girlfriend, but you weren't the nice boyfriend.
Yeah. I love playing the bad guy. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, just
and
because
how was he?
Huh? Oh, Nicky's my boy. Actually, I just talked to him New Year's. We wished each other Happy New Year's. But
awesome.
No, Nicky's my people. He's hella cool. Like,
he's Puerto Rican.
Yeah, Nicky's hella cool, man. Like that's my peeps right there. Shout out to Nicky Jam too. If you're watching, that's my boy right there.
That's probably the closest to a romantic role you probably would have played then.
Yeah, if you want to go that way, yeah. I'm trying to think, but yeah, that was probably.
I Googled.
Oh, did you?
I didn't find anything else.
Don't believe everything on Google. We covered that earlier.
We did.
We covered that earlier.
I didn't Google. I stopped looking at your social media because I was like, I don't really want to get into like trying to get to know you that way.
Right.
But I do want to ask you, since you mentioned that you started off like being at the right place at the right time and going off of like a Taco Bell commercial, like how was it for you, one, being Hispanic and going into an industry where there's all these people that obviously went to acting school and like, that was their goal, was to be an actor or an actress. you going up against like, being put out there in the world with them and like trying to like, I guess you say fit in? Was it
Well,
hard for you, or did people just like embrace you and say like, okay, we're gonna just embrace this Hispanic who came in off the Taco Bell commercial and didn't, you know what I mean? Like, was it harder for you, or were they good to you?
well, at the time I was young, and so those type of thoughts didn't cross my mind yet.
Okay.
As I just jumped into it, it's
Okay.
as I started getting older
Okay.
that stuff kind of started hitting me more, and my past has taught me a lot. I've been very careful of who I help and why.
Mhm.
And I always tell anybody, that you got to do a heart check and a personality check first before you help anybody.
Right.
Because sometimes you could think that you're helping someone, and if you didn't do your due diligence on knowing them, you could be helping the wrong person headed in the wrong way, thinking that you're helping them, but they're just either taking the free ride from you, or you're actually helping them to destruction or something that, you maybe wouldn't have been happy being a part of, and so that's why one thing I learned, I used to be all about my people, the Hispanics, because I was raised that way. I was raised with, Mexican cholos. And so if you didn't have a shaved head and weren't Mexican, I didn't even know how to communicate with anybody else outside of anything else, because I thought I wasn't good enough to talk to, blacks or whites or Asian people or whoever, because all I knew how to talk to was Mexican bald-headed cholos, because that's who I grew up with, So being in the acting business, I had to learn how to adapt to start talking to different races, different cultures, different people, different backgrounds, so on and so on. And so, I used to help people, like I said, and then I used to start thinking my people. But if I keep it 100% honest, and if I'm just being blunt and straight up, I have got farther in this business. Honest to God, I'd be a liar if I said different. I'd be a liar. I'd be lying. I got farther in this business because of black and white people than my own people, to keep it
Really?
100. I didn't really have, and one thing that this business has taught me is, and I'll tell you why I tell the helping thing or whatever. And so now I'm at a point where it's like this for me. I don't care what color you are. You could be pink, purple, blue, white, yellow, red, or whatever color you are. I'm helping anybody with a good heart. You know what I mean? That's it, period. And so I've learned a little thing in this business, two things that I wanted to get back to the Google thing with you guys and share that real quick. But I'll share this to answer your question and end with this. So back in the early days, as those thoughts, as I grew in the business, because when I was a little kid, and I didn't think anything like that. I just thought like, oh my God, I got a job and here I am doing this. And, I'm working and like, oh, life is great. And those type of things weren't, it's as I started getting older and wiser, then it was kind of like, oh, okay, the Mexican people, and like, oh, I got haters, and oh, it's like this, and oh, you're like that when I thought you were like that. And, then it started, grooming, shaping, and polishing me, right? But in the early days, I'll tell you, and I can't even make this up, like our past experiences / choices / decisions, whatever, is what molds us into who we are today to make us more careful in the future as we get older. So back in the early days, I said all that to say, I used to help people for free. I used to and when I wasn't even fully in yet, I used to just like, you want to be an actress? Let's go. I'm going to help you. You want to be an actress? Let's go. I'll help you. And I used to help every Tom, Dick, and Harry for free. But here's what ended up happening straight out. I would get backstabbed or two-faced, or people would start talking smack on me. And I'm like, you wouldn't even have that meeting if it wasn't for me. You wouldn't even have that audition if it wasn't for me. You wouldn't even have that agent or manager if it wasn't for me. Or even worse than that, I was helping people for free and putting my blood, sweat, and tears into them. And then they would just quit on me cold turkey. And I'm like, gee, I just put like a year into you, 2 years into you to like help you get to where you want to go. But now, because you found out it's not as easy as you thought it was, now you're just going to quit on me and walk away and be like, yo, I just got a job over here and forget about what I'm like, dude, so now when people ask for my help, I charge them. You know why I charge them? Because if you backstab me or two-face me or quit on me, I care less. I got paid for my time. Yeah. So my point is, if you get my intimate time, then, then you got that somehow, some way, because I either really took the time to get to know you, to give you that intimate time, but I'm just not giving my time up for anyone no more. You know what I mean? Like, I got to really know. And, the easiest way is like, even when I see homeless people, I learned this with my pastor one time and I never forget it. And all this is off of true stories. You know what I'm saying? I was with my pastor one day at a gas station, and I remember we pulled over to get some gas. Homeless guy comes up, "Hey man, can I get some money?" And my pastor pulled out some money and said, "Absolutely, you could get some money." He said, "What are you gonna use the money for?" The homeless guy goes, "I'm gonna get a smoke and a drink." And my pastor goes, "Ooh, I can't give you the money for a smoke and a drink. If you would have said you were gonna get a Gatorade and a sandwich, I would have gave you the money, but I can't give it to you for a smoke and a drink. I'm sorry." Homeless guy cusses him out, walks away. See, sometimes we think, "Oh yeah, I'm helping you," but I'm helping. If I would have gave him money, if my pastor would have given him, he's helping him die. Yeah. I don't want to be a part of that. Yeah. So now I give homeless people just food or water. That's it. I never give them money. Mm-hmm. And so there's two ways to help people. You could give a grand speech and you could say what you say and they could take your information and run with it, or they could throw it in the trash, or you could help them intimately. But if they get that intimate time, you best believe that I'm gonna do a heart check and a personality check first, and I'm gonna really know you before I help you to know why I'm helping you and for what.
Yeah, you got to check the fruit.
And that's why exactly, and that's why so. And that's why, when you were saying about the Google, respectfully, let me tell you one thing that Hollywood, I call it Hollywood, has taught me. I was going to ask
you why you keep calling it
Here's
that.
one thing that Hollywood has taught me, and I'm going to tell you, and again, all this is just from real life experiences. All I can do is share my truth. Your truth is your truth. Her truth is her truth, etc. But Hollywood has taught me that the reason why, first of all, just so you know, let me just tell you a couple things. On Google, it says that I'm 56 years old. Google, it says that I'm from Santa Monica. Google, it actually says that I died in a city in Mexico, that I'm dead right now, in a city in Mexico that I've never even been to, okay? So people have to understand, whenever you Google someone or whatever, you're not getting the full truth. You can get a sense of like, I got an idea of the situation, but it might not even be the idea or the full truth. So what I'm saying is Hollywood has taught me this. If you don't know someone personally or were involved in the situation personally, you really don't know a damn thing about anything at all. All you know is what you heard, what you've seen, what was presented to you, but you really don't have a damn clue about anything. I see people that cheer, for example, for these celebrities, and they're clapping and like, ah, and I'm like sitting behind the scene and I'm like, if you knew that celebrity that you're clapping for and cheering for, if you knew him the way I knew him, you might not be clapping and cheering. And so these are just life experiences that have taught me certain things. And that's why, I respect what you did. Like, I don't go on Google either and all this stuff. Again, it could give me an idea like, all right, he worked on this, worked on that. I get a little, all right, at least I got kind of a taste. But unless I know someone personally or we're involved in the situation personally, I don't know a damn thing about a damn thing. But you know what I can speak on 1,000,000,000% confidently on? Everything that I was a part of personally and everyone that I know personally, I can tell you without a shadow of doubt, yes, I know that for a fact. Why? Because I was involved personally and know them personally to know that for a fact. And that's why even here, like just to keep it 100, I don't even really, not in the sense of that, I'm talking generally just so we're not like, misunderstanding. I don't care about podcasts. I don't care about news interviews. I don't care about what I read in the paper, all this stuff or whatever, because sometimes people on a podcast, they know the right thing to say and I can't get behind them because I don't know you personally to know if that's what you really about. So you know what I do thank you for though? I thank you for saying the right stuff. Yeah. I thank you for saying, oh, that sounded right, and that's the right thing to say, but I don't know if you really like that off camera. Yeah. I don't know diddly squat about you guys like you don't know diddly squat about me. So all I'm saying is when I see interviews and all this stuff, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like this person wants to do a charity event to stop, AIDS or to cure cancer, and that's an awesome person right there. But what little do I know behind the scenes, they pocketing the money and they living in a mansion. Yep. I don't know what's really going on. Yeah. So that's why until I know him personally, I'm like, I can't contribute or, I got to contribute the way that I know how. So that's why I just, let's just, and I'm sorry, I talk passionately, so I talk a little.
No, it's okay.
But yeah, I talk in love because I'm just so irritated. Like,
why do you say Hollywood? Because Hollywood is a gang, obviously.
Well, the reason why I say Hollywood is because of all the fakeness in it.
Uh-huh.
I say that's why I say we're in the best, worst, best business ever. We're in the best business because, again, it's never the same thing. I get to meet so many different people. I'm always walking into a different situation. But it's the worst business ever because you have so many fakes, cutthroats, two-faced scammers, piece of craps out there.
Yeah.
And then, that's the worst part of it. And then it's the best because it's the best business ever. And every now and then, if you meet a gem, you meet a gem. And if you don't, ain't nothing new in my world.
Well, right now, all the stuff that's going on with all the rappers, the singers, the movie stars, people forget they're normal people just like us. So they sin and do horrible things just like everybody else. Just because you're an actor or movie star and a rapper doesn't mean that you have special privilege.
I know.
Where does your faith fall in line with everything that you just said? Meaning, is it hard to be around a lot of those people with your faith and knowing what's going on and what's happening?
Yeah, 100%. That's why when you're really real, that's why you're alone a lot. And that's why, you ain't working a lot. It's funny. I just did a show with Mike Epps, and it was funny. I was there. I didn't do the show with him. I was there as a guest watching comedy. And Mike Epps, it was so funny. He goes, I'm tired of being real. He goes, I don't want to be real no more. He goes, Cat Williams said everything I wanted to say. But he goes, you know why I didn't say it? Because I want to work. I want to get paid.
Yeah.
There's truth in jokes.
Yeah.
So, I just sit there and I'm like, yeah, when you too damn real and, the world we live in today, now people will work with fake, real. None of that matters anymore. As long as they making money together, let's go.
Oh, wow.
It's just a sad world that we live in.
Have you ever turned down a role because you didn't feel comfortable with your faith and all that?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I was covering early why I wouldn't compromise. I wouldn't do gay roles or, roles where I got to play a girl or something like that. And I've been offered a movie where I had to play a gay guy. And I ain't gonna lie, it was a hefty check. But I was like, they came to me 3 times. You want to do it? And the money went up and up and up. And I was like, nope. I'm good. I don't care how much you offer. You could offer me $50 million. I would not do it. I don't care. Because I live by, when Jesus was walking with the disciples, and that's just how I live my life. One of the, and they wanted to go minister the word of God. But remember back then, they don't got social media, et cetera. So they got to travel from town to town to town to town. And one of the disciples asked Jesus, he said, if we're going from town to town to town to town, how are we going to eat? Where are we going to sleep? What are we going to do? And Jesus answered and said, are you not a fool to know that God takes care of the birds in the air? And if he takes care of the birds in the air, he's more so going to take care of you. He was explaining that you're more important than a bird in the air. Don't worry about it. We're going to eat and sleep. We'll be all right. I just live by that. So, if I go homeless or end up with no money because I'm that damn real and I keep it 100 for God, that's just what it's going to be. And the Bible's very clear. The Bible says that if you stand up for God, you will be, marked for crucifixion. You will be marked for death. You will be, hunted down, casted out, and all that stuff. So we're getting squeezed back up into a wall where we're going to have to make the decision sooner or later, God or the world.
I think, go ahead, Trina.
So do you feel like you're like Moses in Hollywood? And on all the people that are like not that are dirty are like the Israelites, and you're Moses, and you're gonna like stand up for God and be, you're gonna play your role, but not fall into the deception and all the those ways that that you've turned away from. Like, do you feel like you're Moses in Hollywood?
Well, I understand the example you're using, and thank you for that. I respect that. But just to be clear, I feel like I'm Noel and Noel only. I'm not a king. I'm not none of this stuff we said earlier offline. I ain't none of that. I'm Joe Schmo, all right? I'm Joe. No, Jesus is the king.
I think when you find your queen, you'll know that you're the king.
Maybe the king of just my household.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But I'll be the king over one person and one person only.
Yeah,
I'll take that. I'm just messing. But
like, how do you use your platform to speak on behalf of your faith and what you believe in? Like you said that you're clearly hanging out with your pastor, and you're passionate about what you speak on and what you believe in. So like, how do you use your platform to be able to disciple or speak to the people because you have more advantage than we would well, I can't say normal people because you're obviously a normal person.
Yeah, he's wearing Pro Club. He is a very normal person.
He's wearing Converse.
I know, like, why haven't they sponsored me already, man? Pro Club, I'm
Like,
buying
I
their
love
stuff
Pro
since day
Club.
one.
Like, that's what my daughter wears. All my brothers wear.
Pro
Like,
Club
that's
got
like-
Club
yeah.
got some gear though. Come
Pro
on,
Club's been here back in the day.
Pro Club got good gear.
Go to the little Chinito store and walk in and get a T-shirt for how much and some shorts.
I'm approachable. I'm approachable. It's all good. No, well, first, I have to know that my platform is not my platform. My platform is God's platform.
Right.
He just given me a platform to give him a platform. And, God is very clear. God says that if you do not know the word of God, the truth of God, you will be deceived, manipulated, and tricked. You will fall into the lies and you will, give into the deception, and so on. And so all I do is just try to learn more and more the word of God to keep me grounded and to keep me, and on the path that I need to be / should be / want to be, because, God always gives us the choice. He never forces anything upon us, because if he forced it upon us, it wouldn't be real from our heart / ourselves. And so my thing is that, I just try to do the best I can. I, speak on God and about God. And, God said it himself, what's mightier, the pen or the sword? And, his word is our weapon. That's the weapon that he gives us, to use. But you can't speak his word if you don't know his word. You know what I mean? So, and that's why, too, with the Hollywood thing, like I said, that's where God showed me that. Like, if you don't know him personally, then you don't have a relationship with him, and you don't know his word to be able to defend yourself in his word, because that's the weapon inside of you is his word, and if you know his word, you'll be better off in how you answer questions and how you speak and everything you do, decisions in life, choices in life, et cetera. You'll know who you are in him.
Yep.
If you accept him as, your authority / father / creator. So I just do the best that I can. And to be clear, I'm not perfect in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
I got thorns in my flesh like anybody else.
We all do.
We all have our struggles. But, the more you allow God to get inside of you, the more the world gets outside of you. And so, the more and more I let him in, the more and more the doors are shutting to what I'm struggling with.
Right.
You
it's
know what I'm
easier.
saying?
It's
It gets
for you.
easier and easier and easier as you get closer and closer and closer to God. It's like, it's like a fan, when you're close to a fan, you feel the air, but the farther you get away from the fan, you don't feel the air no more. So you just got to always stay on top of the fan so you can continue to feel his presence and his spirit inside of you.
Has anybody on set ever asked you about the word or about Jesus where you've been able to preach to them?
Yeah. I had an experience, but I never, when you know God's word, God will let you know when to release his word. You're more effective when they come to you and say, what's different about you? What's going on? What you mean you don't like to party and go clubbing? What you mean you don't want to drink? Like, what's going on with you? What you mean you're paying your bills? What you mean you're making it in life? Like, I don't get what,
You're
like,
being responsible?
something's cracking with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you different than what's going on over here.
Yeah.
Like, what? And then you're like, you really want to know? I'm being obedient to my Father, and, Jesus wants the same thing for you. And because I gave it all to him, he's, I'm getting blessed, and that's how I'm able to do what I'm doing. I'm doing it on his strength, by his will, not by my own will. And he wants the same for you. If you would just get an alignment with God, everything that's happening to me could happen to you. You know what I mean? Just do you want it or not? And, what people have to learn is that God doesn't bless disorder. And a lot of people, they're living their life out of order. They're living their life chaotically, but they want all the blessings. Yeah. And God's like, I can't bless what's in disorder. Like, I can only bless what's in order. So the more that they put themselves back into order, that's when the blessings chase them. They don't got to go chase the blessings. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why, like, when I'm on set, if someone asks because they notice something different, I'll be like, you really want to know? You seriously want to know? I'll be like, hey, now might not be the right time because we got to be on set in like 10 minutes. But if you really genuinely want to know the answer to that, I'll tell you what, why don't we jump on the phone tomorrow for like when you have an hour or two, or why don't we go to Starbucks and just go kick it for a minute, and I'll give you the real answer. But now's not the right time, because
Oh,
that's the
wow.
other part that I learned. It has to be the right time to tell them, because we live in a microwave world and everybody wants it like this.
Yes.
And if you give them the microwave answer, you might end up in either, some argument or some back and forth, or, why this, why that. And I'm like, I don't got the time now. So if you really want the answer, when do you have an hour or two? And I'll give you the real answer. You want it quick? I can't tell you right now.
Yeah. Because
You know
Jesus isn't quick.
Yeah, and God says also to use wisdom and strategy. You know what I mean? So it's about who you take the time with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And God also says, don't argue with the fool. God himself says, tell him once, tell him twice, and the third time, let it go. You're not there to convince anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Even Jesus did that. Jesus would walk, he would tell someone twice, 2 times at most. And the third time, if they're still fighting it, have a nice day. Take care of yourself. Be safe out there.
Yeah.
And keep it moving. Keep it truffling.
Have you always been bald?
Huh?
Like you shaved?
I know, right?
No. Have you ever?
This,
have
no,
you
I know
always
this
been
is
shaved, like.
yeah, this is low maintenance. That's the low maintenance cut.
Okay.
I do it in the shower.
I don't. I wasn't sure if it just went with your uniform.
No. I've always been 90% of the time. I've always been bald. I'm lucky though. My hair could still grow. So
Okay, so you're not officially
Yeah,
bald.
no. You could tell
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
not
Yeah,
bald.
yeah.
no. I've done
Shaves
some
his
movies.
head.
I've done some movies. Yeah, I shave my head. No, I shave my head. I've done some movies where I've had hair.
Well,
And,
in the one with Matt Dillon, Employee of the Month, like you had no facial hair.
Yeah, I try to switch up the look in like some
I
of the
didn't even
movies.
know that was you.
Yeah, I try to like go back and forth because you don't want to be the same in like every movie, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I try to like do the best I can. But yeah, I actually started a production company making my own movies because I believe if no one gives you the opportunity, give the opportunity to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started that to start playing different roles,
Is
to branch out and do different things.
The one you did, Ditch Party, is that?
That was one of them, yeah. So I played a janitor in that one.
Yeah.
And then
But did you write that or
no,
produce it?
that's a long story. You know,
Okay.
sometimes you got to do what you got to do until you could really do what you want to do.
Okay.
So that was just a movie that we produced. I always say there's 2 ways to make it in this business. A millionaire believes in you and just writes you a check and says, go make your movie, or you make your own millions and then you make your own movie.
Okay.
But I'm not the guy to sit around to wait for a millionaire to cut me a check to go make my movie.
But you're
So-
not opposed to accepting the check from the
Oh,
millionaire.
no, heck no. I would take the check all day long and go make the dang movie all day. That's the dream, right? Who's not going to want to make that dream a reality? If anybody's a millionaire out there wants to cut me a check,
We got a movie for you.
let me make my movie, man. But it'll be a movie for God, edgy, gritty, raw, and real. That's where I'm headed. But so that's what I. Now you lost me. I forgot
Ditch
where-
Party.
Oh yeah,
That was about.
So, it was a movie that we just did to try to make some more money to, eventually make the movie that we want to really make. Because the biggest mistake that I've seen in Hollywood is people try to make their baby movie without the right amount of money. And then they wonder why their movie's a piece of crap. It's because you did it without the proper budget. It's like if you're going to make Star Wars, you need $20 million. If you're going to make Boys in the Hood, you can do it for about $1 million or less. You see the difference?
Mm-hmm.
And some people try to make Star Wars with $1 million. And I'm like, nah, that don't work. It's not going to work.
So are you currently filming anything or in the process of anything?
Yeah. I got a movie that I just finished with John Travolta and Quavo. I got another TV show that just came out recently called The Bookie. That's on Netflix right now, season 2. And then I got my other movie that just came out with some of the Walking Dead cast. It's called 7 Cemeteries.
Mhm.
So, and then there's some stuff that's pending right now also as well. But, until I sign a contract, talk is talk. But yeah, there's some stuff that's pending, some stuff that I'm headed to be working on. I'm in the middle of filming a documentary right now. So there's a couple things that are in the mix.
If you look back where you started at 15 to now and all the movies that you've done, everything, do you look back and think, if you had a choice, would you continue doing all that or would you pick another job for yourself? Whether you could be a football star, whether you could be a lawyer, a doctor, like anything else. Are you glad that this is what it is and you would do it all over again?
No, I'm glad that this is what it is and I would do it all over again, but it was funny because acting saved me in a sense. It saved me in the sense of like, when I was 15, I didn't know what I was doing or where I was going and I didn't have no plan. I didn't want to be this or that. I never had something in my head where like, I want to be a cop or I want to be a lawyer. Like I was just living life and trailing along. And then, this happened and took me to where I'm at now. So I'm very thankful for it. And then, like I said, at first, yeah, it was for the money, but then it became a true passion. And so if I had to do it all over again, this is probably what I would want to be doing because again, it's the funnest job in the world, but it's just unfortunate sometimes because of a lot of the people you meet in the business. And, that part of it makes it hard sometimes. But like I said, in any business, there's good or bad. You know what I'm saying? But in Hollywood, sometimes there's just more bad than good. You know what I mean?
We could see it.
That I've seen. So
do you guys
a lot of, I have a joke, in Hollywood, I say it like this. If all the promises that were made to me were kept, I'd be a billionaire.
Oh,
So
really?
I say it like that, yeah.
So do people just talk to talk?
Oh, all the time. And then, things switch. And because this is the one business where, promises don't get kept. And, I want to use you for this. But, then they do 3 other projects in between. And now they met someone else. And they don't owe nobody nothing. Again, nothing's owed to you either, just to be clear. So, but I'm just saying it just sucks sometimes. So what I've learned is I'll never tell someone something that I'll do that I'll never do because I don't want to be, I used to do it. I'm guilty of it. I used to do it in the early, I'll hook you up. Yeah, let me see if I can get you. But, then you do 3 more projects and you forget about that person because now you got so close to the new people.
Yeah.
And so it fades, but so now I've learned, that's why when people now come up to me and get me in the acting game. I explain that story all the time. I say, just so you understand this, I do a consultation. I say, this is the reason why I charge people. Because in the past, I used to help people for free, yada, yada, yada. So now I charge you. And, I'm not that dude. I just got out of prison. I'm trying to change my life. That's great. That's wonderful. That's awesome. But because of the past, I still got to charge you. Well, F you. And this, well, then F me. And then some are like, I'll pay the money. And then they get where they need to be. Because they, I'm the coach. They're the team. I coach my team how to win. But again, because of past experience, you just learn how to protect yourself more.
Yeah.
You learn how to be wiser and more strategic in what you do moving forward.
Do you think more people?
And I'm sorry to cut you. I'll just say it's the saying, first time shame on you, second time shame on me. If I let the same mistake happen to me over and over again, I'm the idiot at the end of the day, not the other person.
You should coach the Raiders then.
Put in a call if you know someone. Get your brothers to go threaten them. I'll probably be a coach by next week. Yeah, get your brother.
Stan, you hear that, Stan?
Yeah, get your brother. Be like, hey, Noel's the coach. You said what?
Well, wait, really quick. Are you still in contact with the girl that took you to the acting class? Because
she's the mother of my first kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, your daughter that just got engaged?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And she never. No.
I don't know what. We don't even talk. She could be the devil's assistant. I don't know.
Oh,
okay.
You went in and took her role, and you're like, I got this.
I didn't mean to. I was just at where I was at, and it happened. You know what I'm saying?
I was going to ask you, do you do more cholos or ex-cons or all those type of guys? Do they come to you a lot because that's the role you play and that's the role that they can play? Or do you get more of those guys?
That's where I learned all these lessons because we had a company called Suspect Entertainment, and this and we were real popular back in the early days, in between 2000 and 2005. We were pretty well known. We were on 60 Minutes. We were on 2020, Celebrity Justice. We were in People Magazine. We were making some noise. Problem was we had too many chiefs in the hen house. We let gangsters run it. We didn't know what we were doing. It was real sloppy. And the way I say it, real money came in, true hearts came out. And that's, pretty much what happened. And so that's where, things got really messed up, really bad. And so that's what I was doing is what I'm saying is I was helping my own people. I was helping gangster cholos get roles in, movies and stuff like that. But then they were talking smack and not being appreciative. And I'm like, gee, we wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for me because I, quote unquote, was the one with the most known face at that time. So how do you think some of those doors got kicked open? They weren't kicked open to a face they didn't know. Yeah. They're like, oh, this guy was in Fast and Furious. I know his face. Yeah, we'll give him time of day. Let's hear a little bit of what he has to say. And I started getting us into some of the meetings and but then, jealousy, hate, whatever you want to call it, they were trying to take over. And I'm like, I thought there was a lot of fights and it was just a lot of backstabbing and two-face. And, then you had idiots too, to be straight up and blunt. You had homies that would come to set that were like, I want to change my life and I want to do better and I'm never going back to prison. But they'd come on set with guns and drugs.
Oh.
And we're like, what the hell are you doing, bro? Like, you gangbanging on set? Like, I just gave you a real opportunity to turn your life around.
Yeah.
And I just put you in front of so-and-so director who's big time in Hollywood, and you coming to set high drunk and acting like a fool and like, you're an idiot, dude. And now you're making me look bad because I recommended you. So that's why, I don't mess with anybody no more. Like, I keep it just me. Like, I'm like, if I recommend someone, I'm gonna vet that person out because I'm not gonna recommend anybody who's gonna ruin my rep.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna validate anyone who's gonna ruin my rep. I'm not gonna back up anyone who's gonna ruin my, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Your own rep is your own rep. You got to protect it. So, but in the early days, you live and learn, right? You don't know until you know.
Do your kids want to act?
My daughter, she did at first, and then now it's not a big deal to her. Now she's like, if you throw me in something, you do. If you don't, I don't care. So she's like on that page, but
Yeah.
nah. So my kids they're all good.
So when you worked with John Travolta, I have to ask, because John Travolta has been here since Saturday, since Grease, Saturday Night Fever, all that.
Yeah.
This is before we were born.
Yeah,
Right, right.
And the reason I'm asking is, I told you earlier, I take care of my grandma who's 92 with dementia. I swear, if John Travolta walked in the house, she would remember him.
Yeah.
She took dance classes, and I would go with her because I was attached to her.
Right.
And I just remember that whole album.
So we need John for your grandma to wake up. Have the wake up call.
Yes, for sure.
That's the healing.
That's the treatment she needs.
That's the healing. Right.
She would
FaceTime her.
Let me see if I can get John to FaceTime.
Yeah. She'd
Oh
be
my
like,
gosh.
Right.
Is he, because we hear what we hear. And like you said, don't believe what you hear and what you don't hear unless you actually know. Just tell me he's a down to earth, cool person.
No, he's cool. Like straight up, John. John's cool, man. And he looks young as heck.
Does he?
I'm like, what's your trick, homie? He found a fountain of youth or something. I don't know. When you got John Travolta money, you could do that.
Yeah.
I'm saying, but he looked fresh. He's 60 something, but he looks young as hell, and now he looks good. So
Once you said that, because I didn't know about that, I was like, I got to ask her. My grandma's going to be
I did 2 movies with John. You could check them out. One is called Paradise something. I actually forgot the name of the first one. And then the second one, though, is called Cash Out. So those are out right now. You could check those out.
How many movies total have you done? Do you even know?
No, I don't even know, man.
It's like over
honestly,
150, right?
What I've learned to do, to be real with you, is I just do them and forget about them. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Yeah, I really don't care anymore, to be honest now. I'm on a different mission now. Honestly, I'm very blessed. I love doing movies. Don't get it twisted. Will I still do them? Of course, till the day I die, because it's one of the funnest business. And now I just use it to get the word of God out more.
Yeah.
And it just became that. And so, but, again, yes, I'm very blessed. And yes, I would love to keep on doing movies till the day I die. But the reason why I started the production company now is because I want to do movies that, this is how I think. And, to each their own once again, right? I think a movie that changes someone's life or inspires or encourages or give the hopeless hope or something of that nature will always do better than a movie that just entertains you.
Yes.
And that's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
People out there could disagree with that, but that's just so what I want to do is I want to make these movies that are raw, edgy, gritty, and real, and lead people towards Jesus Christ.
And it's really hard in that industry.
Yeah, but now because of social media and because the way things have changed, now it's not hard anymore. Now anybody can create their own platform and do what they do, just like what you're doing with the podcast. Yeah. You know what I mean? Anybody, you're going to have your own fans, and that podcast is going to have its own fans, and that podcast is going to have its own fans. So now nothing's really hard unless you set it in your head that it's hard. There might be some speed bumps and some roadblocks along the way, but
But if you have Jesus, he guides you through everything. He's going to lead you. You're going to have some bad days for sure, but he's going to be through. So
the ups and the downs.
Yeah. So obviously we have a new president. This is the only thing I'll say about it. And so many people are so worried and freaked out and saying all this stuff. And I'm like God is my only president. God is my only leader, my only king, my only father. I say all the time, I'm not worried about who's president because he's president at the moment, but that's not who my overall God is. But I didn't realize how fearful people are. And it's usually people that don't have Jesus.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, they're like, you don't care. You're not worried. I was like, no, I'm not. I'm good. I got Jesus. I'm good. I realize the only person I can control is myself. I can't control anything else or anybody else. And I'm just going to lead by example. And again, like you said, though, we're not perfect. I mean, we talked about this. As perfect as we try to be, we still sin.
Yeah.
We still don't make people happy, huh?
Well, I always tell people this, it's kind of funny. If you're serving God 100% correctly, the way that you should be serving God, and your lifestyle proves that, you're not going to be the most popular person.
Oh, 100%.
That's what I tell
How does Hector?
Hey, don't worry. I'm starting to think it's my real name.
I know.
I'll be in a
Obsessed
mall.
with
Someone
you.
say Hector. I'm like, what's up? I'm about to go to the DMV and change it.
How do you stay rooted and with all your busyness, with your all the things that you have going on in your life outside of your church and your faith, and how do you stay rooted, and then how do you pour into the people that are around you?
Well, once again, I do have my struggles, and I have my thorn in my flesh where I struggle pretty badly. My divorce messed me up a little bit because real love will do that to you. So that, and then my mom passed away 6 years ago.
Oh,
These are
sorry.
not excuses to not do right. I'm just saying what my truth is.
Yeah.
And so I do have some strong struggles. But what I am doing right now as we speak to get better is the Bible talks about in Matthew, it talks about you have to force the flesh to do what the flesh doesn't want to do. And the more that you force the flesh to do what the flesh doesn't want to do, you just start becoming that. And as you start becoming that, you just soon are that. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm trying my hardest. And how do I do it? You just stay rooted, because the Bible says that in everything you do, seek the kingdom of God. God wants to be a part of your life in every detail. He even wants to be a part of when you go to the mall and buy a pair of pants or a brand new pair of shoes, because God is a God of detail. God wants to be a part of every decision you make, down to the small one, to the medium one, to the big one. And that's what people forget, because we're supposed to be a good steward of our money, supposed to be a good steward of everything we do. And he's with us in everything that we do, small or big. And so how do I stay rooted? I just try to force myself to continue going to church, force myself to continue reading the Bible, force myself to pray, force myself to continue listening to sermons, et cetera, et cetera. Because again, the more and more and more that gets in me, the more and more the world gets out of me. And so that's how I stay rooted, just stay in that personal relationship with God. And the more it's like going to the gym. You hate going to the gym, you hate it. But as you start seeing the results, then you just start going to the gym, and then it becomes a part of your lifestyle, and then you love it, and you don't even think about the time you hated it, because now you're loving it so much. You know what I mean? And it's the same way with God. You know what I'm saying? It's like getting yourself used to eating salad. You don't like it at first, but once you eat it more and more, then you start desiring it, and then all of a sudden it just becomes a part of your lifestyle, and now it just is who you are. You know what I mean? And as a guy showed me an example one time, and the example was like, from the age of 15 years old to 2008, I had a past. I did this wrong, I did that wrong, I did this wrong, I did this wrong. But in 2008, I get saved. I allow God inside of me. And then 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, I start making better decisions. You see what I did, though? I just created a new past.
Yeah.
And so, that's what I'm trying to do.
And now here you are in 2025.
And now I'm on Coffee and Chaos podcast.
Yes. Thank you. So as our time is ending right now, thank you so much, Noel.
No, it's all love. Thanks for having
I'm
me.
still going to learn how to say your last name.
I got to learn how to say it. I got to learn how to say it.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. You don't have TikTok.
I do, but I never use it. And
Okay.
Yeah.
So just have your Instagram.
You know what happened is I mastered my Instagram, and then TikTok came out. When I mastered TikTok, Super Duper TikTok's going to come out. And then when I master Super Duper TikTok, Super Expialidocious TikTok is going to come out, and it's going to keep on going. I'm going to be behind all the time. I gave up at it. I stopped at
Wait, that's
Super
why you
Nintendo.
have an assistant.
Yeah, exactly. My assistant does all my computer stuff.
Yeah. I cannot master either one. So that's what we were talking about earlier. I wish I had more time and more knowledge how to use it. I'd post a lot more, but I don't post enough. But eventually I'll learn how to master one of them.
The honest truth is, and I'm keeping it 100, and I'll end with this, is if I was not in the business that I was in, I probably wouldn't even have a social media. I only do it because of the business that I'm
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
It's now the thing to kind of like, you have to have it
Yeah.
to keep up and, et cetera, et cetera. But honestly, if I worked at Kmart and social media was out, I kid you not, I probably 99% would not have a social media because I just don't care.
Oh, well, that's good to know. I'm trying to learn. I have it. I post.
But it's good, yeah,
I'm
because
trying
you're doing
to
a
learn it.
podcast, you need to do it.
But
You
I'm
need to have
trying
it
to I'm trying
yeah.
to master it, as you said.
No, I get it. I
But-
get it. Like, but once you master it, 5 more are gonna come out. You gotta keep up with that. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, Solomon, so much.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
Trina. Thank you so much, Noel. We
No, it's all love,
appreciate you
yeah.
coming here from well, I won't say where you live.
Yeah,
It's
no,
nobody's
don't trip.
business.
If you guys want to keep up with me, let me just say this last thing. Follow my Instagram, actor Noel G. Actor Noel G. Give me a follow. Much love. And I always say God first, and the rest will work itself out.
Thank you so much. Bye.
We out, Fast and Furious style.